Now, let me ask you a question, and this is going to be another difficult one to answer, unfortunately. But I'd be curious to know your opinion on this.
Mhm.
And I have an opinion, which I'll share after you give your response. But what is your opinion on the idea of wealth inequality? Forget about between races and genders, just the
Mhm.
fact that some people have more money and some people have less money. And
Mhm.
is it a problem? And if so, why or how to correct it? So what would you say to that?
So, in some countries, it's a major problem because when there's like huge corruption, in the government, every government has corruption, but there's some countries where I mean, it's just horrible. But here in this country, we have this thing called capitalism, and I love capitalism. It's so cool because it just straight up, basically, all it means is like, hey, like effort, effort, and you win. That's it, effort, and you win, and that's how it is in this country. So yeah, there's people who are wealthy and there's people who aren't. And some people are all about, well, the wealthy people need to give to the non-wealthy. Well, guess what? There's no law that says you're not allowed to be wealthy. Like if you don't have money, there's nothing that says you can't go be wealthy. We can all go be it coming from anything. There's people who literally come off the streets eating out of trash cans and eventually work their way up into a position where they're making millions of dollars. And I'm not saying everyone has to go after millions of dollars. Even getting to a point where you're making 100,000 a year or 200 or something like that, that's still good money. I mean, if you're making 200 grand a year, life is good. Like you're not in a bad place at all. Even 100,000 a year, life is still pretty good. You're not going to be suffering. There, for me, I'm all about you just put the effort in every single day. Effort will get you to the goals. There's going to be wealthy people and there's going to be non-wealthy, and you are in control of your journey. If you decide to stay non-wealthy, that is all on you. There is nothing out there that's stopping you. There are somewhat systematic things that will slow you down, but there's no systematic things that will actually stop you. It's all on you. It's all about where you're going to put your mind. It's all about mindset. Get your mindset in the right place, you become dangerous.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. And I think I completely agree with you and I know there are a lot of young people today in the United States who think that like socialism and communism is the way to go. But if you look at other countries where that's there, the government is so corrupt and it's so bad.
Yeah.
But what people don't understand is like, they're like, oh, well, I don't make a lot of money. And people who do make a lot of money, they'll give some, so my life is better. That's what they think. They don't actually know that the government takes everything and they have to somehow not be corrupt and redistribute it all equally. Like they don't actually get that doesn't happen in other countries. Like look at Venezuela and just all these other things that are going on. But I think you're absolutely right. So I, I've always been in sales and I've always run my own companies. So in a sales job, it's commission. So if I make money, it's because I go out and I work. And
Exactly.
so
Hmm.
there was never a point in time where I was making less money than someone and I said, oh, it's not fair. Oh,
Hmm.
it's because I'm black and they're white. It's because I'm young and they have experience. It was like, oh, if I want to make more money, I literally get paid commission on how many sales I make and what the amount of those sales are. So I just need to go work more. And that's why I was working 17 hours a day. And with my real estate company, I have a lot of people, you know, I made a lot of money in real estate and it's been phenomenal. And I have people coming to me and saying like, well, do you think it's ethical? And I'm always curious about that. I know it's going to crack you up. I'm, I'm curious about that because what I'm doing is,
Ethical. Oh my
right.
God.
So my wife and I, when we got into real estate, we made the conscious decision we would never raise the rent on anyone ever for any reason. The only reason someone's rent would go up is if they decide to upgrade units, like a bigger one or, a better one, whatever. And so because of that, because we provide the housekeeping services and the maid and all that stuff, we've literally never missed a month's worth of rent, not even a day's worth of rent. And that's the reason why we've made a lot of money is because through capitalism, we provide a superior product or service and the people choose. And that's the difference between capitalism and communism is with capitalism, the people decide, the market tells you what's good and what's not. And the market is people. And
Mhm.
so the fact that if you want to succeed in this country or any country that has capitalism, well, then you have to go work hard and you have to provide either a better service or a better product, or maybe the same product for a lower cost, whatever it is. And then more customers will buy your product. And I think it's funny, a lot of people saying, you know, people like to bash Jeff Bezos for making Amazon so big and so successful. And it's like, dude, Amazon used to be nothing. but he was so customer centric that millions of people around the world chose to do business with him. And now he's the richest man in the world. And but it's because he provided a superior product or service at the time. Like that's why he got so big.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he provided value to people. That's the thing. He didn't people like get mad at rich people thinking, oh, money just somehow just found its way into their bank account. No, they went out and worked hard to provide some type of value to people, a large group of people or the company. And so it provides some type of service, some type of product, and people are like, hey, I'm willing to pay for it. Like, if you don't want someone to be rich, then don't buy their stuff then. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, like, don't buy their stuff. Like, if are you gonna use it and all of a sudden be like, oh yeah, like, you know, Jeff Bezos, you know, screw that guy. No, like the guy, like he worked hard to get to where it's at. He started like in a freaking like a back room with a super wimpy sign that said Amazon that was like spray painted. Like that's where he started. But he, because of capitalism, because of how this country is structured, he was able to work his way up. Like you can do that, and it doesn't matter the color of your skin. I was on a call just 2 weeks ago with the son of the he's top 5 richest person, I believe, in the country. And guess what? He's black. He's black, and he didn't become rich now. He became rich like back when there was a little bit more racism. But he grinded to make his way there. Like at the end of the day, it's capitalism. Capitalism is set up where like capitalism doesn't really look at color, it doesn't look at gender, it doesn't look at your sexual orientation, your religion. It doesn't matter. Like as long as you learn how to finesse, you can get your way through a lot of stuff.
Yeah, well, and that's exactly what I love about this system, is because you're absolutely right. It doesn't care what you look like. It doesn't care who you are. All it cares is if you're providing a superior product or service. So like if I'm going to go get my haircut or whatever, if the best barber in town is a transgender, lesbian, vegan, feminist with rainbow colored hair, I'm going to that barber because she's the best, right? Like it doesn't matter. So I think you're absolutely right. I had this day where probably to this point was one of the most important days of my life as far as what I thought was possible with business and income. And it was with my sales job. It was commission. It was also real estate. And I made about $40,000 in a day. And
wow.
I came, thank you. It was awesome. Well, and I came from, you know, when I was 12, my mom was a single mother working minimum wage to support 3 kids. Right. And so I made $40,000 in a day. And that like, it was so mind blowing to me that like, you could actually go out and make that. And there are people that make a lot more than that based on the value that they're bringing. And that it also told me something true too, is there will always, even if there was a communist society, which I don't believe there should be, but even if there was something like that here, there will always be wealth inequality, because even if people have the same income level, their behavior, what they're going to do with that income is going to be completely different. This is another hard topic, but I was doing some research because I grew up poor, and my whole thought when I was growing up poor is like, I'm going to become rich someday, and I'm going to share all these secrets with everybody else so that everyone can become rich. And I was naive enough when I was young to think that I could actually solve poverty. I thought I could solve it through teaching financial literacy. And I really did believe that. I was a much better person when I was younger. And my heart broke. My heart shattered when I figured out that I could give people the information and they could still ignore it and choose to go, you know, screw around and not have any money. And one thing that just totally wrecked me is, and this is a fact, anyone can go look this up, people who make $16,000 or less per year, on average spend $400 per year on lottery tickets. And it's like, that just like broke me, because it's like, man, like if $400, if you just take that, not that $400 a year is a ton of money, but if you only make 16,000, dude, $400 a year, if you just start putting that away and saving it and investing it, that could be the difference between you starting that business or not starting it, which is going to produce way more than some lottery tickets will. It's just wild.
So what pretty much what you're saying right there is, and my agent actually told me this. I love this quote. It's some people don't want to participate in their own rescue. And I learned that the hard way, just like you. Like I used to, the same thing, like, and I still do. I give away information. I give away a lot of information to help a lot of people. I get, you know, anywhere from 30, 40, 50, 60 DMs between all of my social media accounts on a daily basis. I answer every single one of them. Not always within the same day, but hopefully within a day or two. Answer all of them every single day. And some people were asking for information, just how to, help them succeed in life or do whatever, get into racing, start a business, whatever. And I help them, and luckily I've been organized enough to write out like different write-ups on how to do certain things. So I don't have to like retype it out every single time. And I send them. And when I send this stuff, it's like a book of stuff that I've written out, and it's organized. And some people will get it and just squander it. And because they just don't want to participate in their own rescue. That's just sometimes human nature, where some people, at the end of the day, it's all mindset. It's not about this magical list. I can go write out a step-by-step process from start to finish on how you can go from making 16 grand a year to making a lot more than that. I can write it out for you and show you these are the exact steps. But at the end of the day, it does not matter. Mindset is the biggest thing. If your mindset's not in a place where you are willing to sacrifice, be very relentless, to be disciplined, to be able to give it, to put everything all in and not care if you lose it, because you can find a way to get it back. If your mindset's not in that place, you'll never succeed. And the thing is, a lot of people who are given these steps to success, a lot of times their just mindset isn't in the right place. And once I really realized that when I started reading the Robert Kiyosaki books on, cash flow quadrant, Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's really when it hit. And it's like probably the second or third time I like listened to those books where I was like, okay, now it makes sense. It's all mindset. When I realized that, I began, when people start reaching out to me for how to succeed in whatever, I first start talking to them about getting your mindset right, and they look at me crazy. They're like, hey, like tell me how to like make money. I'm like, no, like I need to get here right. When I know this is right, then I'll help you. But if I don't have this right, then nothing's gonna work, and some people will be like, okay, whatever, and that's cool. They're gonna go live their life and never get to where they want to go.